Do you have an upcoming bank loan and you want some tips on how to loan it? Check out this video. Hi, good day. This is Carl D, your property guru, and today I'm gonna talk about bank loans. You know, marami sa atin ang may property purchase and now I think you're faced with the big amount, the lump sum. So how do you deal with it? I'm gonna share with you 5 tips on how to deal with your lump sum when you're gonna loan it from the bank. Number 1, identify your bank loan amount. You know, this is very common sense, but I just wanna make sure this is step number 1, which is alamin natin, magkano ba talaga ang total bank loan amount? Magkano ba talaga ang utang natin to the developer? It can be 4 million, 8 million, 10 million or more. Number 1 step is to identify magkano ba talaga yung total utang. And then number 2, check how much you want to loan. Diba? Let's say the lump sum amount is 12 million and you're looking to pay off 6 million and borrow 6 million. So that's a 50% bank loan, 50% equity. There's also 40% equity and 60% bank loan, and as high as 20% of your own money, 20% equity and 80% bank loan. You know, for me personally, the conservative way is 50% of your own money and 50% bank loan. If you go higher than 50%, it becomes more aggressive and more risky. Wala naman masama doon, but it's important lang to know na if you're gonna take 80% bank loan, then it's a bit on the aggressive and risky side, you know? And if it's 50% or lower ang bank loan, you're more on the conservative side. Number 3 tip, ask your banker for 3 magic numbers. What are these 3 magic numbers? Ask your banker your 5 years to pay, 10 years to pay, or 15 years to pay na amount. Diba? Meaning, how much ba yung babayaran ko, Mr. Banker? Is it 50,000 a month? Pag 5 years, pag 10 years, 40,000. Pag 15 years, 30,000 a month. So, I want you to have those 3 magic numbers so that when you go to sleep and when you discuss with your spouse, you have those 3 magic numbers in mind. Ano ang kaya mo? That 5 years to pay would be great. It will be nice and short. 10 years to pay for me is my sweet spot. I like to do 50-50 loan on a 10-year term. 15 years to pay, I think, for an investor like me is a bit too long. But for primary home buyers, if this was your primary home, 15 years should be okay. But you have to just factor that it's another 5 more years added to the term. So I like 10 years to pay at 50% loan. Number 4, identify your burn rate. So, Sir Carl, what is burn rate? Okay, listen guys. This is very important in borrowing from the bank. Here, I'm gonna flash an Excel of a sample of an Excel showing how you do your burn rate. Burn rate, from a business point of view, is your break-even point. So, lalagay natin dito, how much ba talaga ang ginagastos ng household ko sa isang buwan? You know, a lot of people don't do this, but if you do this burn rate exercise, you'll be surprised na ang dami palang mga maliliit na bagay that add to your expenses. So this can be as simple as your grocery, your Meralco, internet bill, your phone bill. Major would be your household expenses like the maids, if you have driver. If you are renting right now, that will be your major household expense. And the minor will be yung mga eating out, going out, not much right now, but eating out, ordering food, all the way to tuition fee, school fees, miscellaneous. You proceed further to yung outside the household, which is your insurance, your Medicard, other property payments, other installments, your car. The list goes on and on. You write it all down to identify how much is your burn rate every month. And then you can add a wish list. Ano bang mga wish mong idagdag every month. So it may be a Lazada budget, order out budget, just to make it realistic. And then you add on yung future expenses like maybe if you're gonna have a baby, medicine, giving to your relatives, charity, tithes, all of these expenses, write it down in this Excel in the format I'm sharing with you. So you will now come up with your burn rate. That is your minimum income to just break even. And after you've identified your burn rate, number 5, to see if you have that excess, diba? So this is your burn rate, let's say 100,000 a month. Your bank amortization, your magic number is 50,000. So now you need 150,000 a month of income to cover for all your expenses for the next 10 years. So what's important is you have clarity in all that you are entering so that you're not at risk. And of course, a few final advice is if you can afford to add more equity to lower down your loan, then that's better. Unless if you're an expert at finance, where you can go 80% leverage. Meaning if you're an expert, you know what you're doing, you know your risk, it's okay to go and borrow 80%. But if you're like a first-timer, conservative one, then 50% loan would be more manageable. You know, I just want to share with you a last piece of advice that most of the time, the loan is not the problem, nor the interest, nor the property. Most of the time, the problem is when the income is not enough to have excess to pay for the bank loan. And when loaning, prepare for a worst case scenario. Be conservative and not too aggressive. I want to end with this final quote. Today must not borrow from tomorrow. Meaning today, you must not factor in and start spending yung income na wala pa, na parating pa lang tomorrow. Feel free to type in your questions below so I will answer it in my next video. And if you want to have a chat with me, please also click down below on the private coaching that I offer. Thank you very much. This is Carl D, your property guru.